Hi everyone, this is Lise Saugeres from Experiential Mindfulness Melbourne. I help people manage and reduce stress so they have more joy, calm and peace in their lives. So if you're watching this, just join me, just say hi and ask questions. So today I'm going to talk to you about how mindfulness can help you worry less about things. So when we worry, it's really our mind trying to anticipate potential dangers so that it can keep us safe. So our mind has got good intentions. However, usually when we worry, it's something that we can't do anything about in the moment because we are worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, about something that might or might not happen in the future. And as a result, because you can't do anything about it right now, it can cause us a lot of stress and as a result of worrying, often anxiety as well. So I used to be somebody who worried a lot about things because I grew up in an environment where I didn't feel safe, and if you yourself have grown up in an environment where you did not feel safe, you're likely to worry a lot about things as an adult. It becomes really a way of dealing with things. It's always about, worrying about something, whether you're going to be able to do something, whether something is going to work out, whether it's going, bad things are going to happen. And usually, of course, when we worry more that bad things are going to happen. We don't usually worry about good things happening. And by focusing, actually, I used to think that, if I anticipated all the bad things that could happen, that could go wrong, then I would be okay. And maybe you've done that yourself at some point. And then I realized that, of course, the more I focus on, on potentially bad things happening, by doing that, I could just attract them, because if you focus on something, even if you focus on the bad things that you don't want to happen, by focusing on them, you could actually attract those things happening. And whereas if you really focus on, what you want to happen rather than what you don't want to happen, then it's like much more likely to actually happen. For me, even sometimes when I wanted to, something I was really happy about going, whether it's a party or an event I'd been looking forward to for a while, I would think about, I hope I'm not going to get sick, I hope this is not going to happen, I hope, and so on. And by doing that, by focusing on that, actually, sometimes I was feeling unwell on that day. Sometimes I would just kind of create it the more I focused on it. So of course it's a matter of degrees, but I know some of you, like I used to worry a lot about things, and it's usually not very helpful. So it's not the same thing, worrying about what might or might not happen in the future. It's not the same thing, of course, as planning, as, setting goals, planning what you want to do. That's not the same thing. Talking about this incessant thinking, about, what about this? What about if this happens? What about if this goes wrong? What about if this doesn't happen? And oh my God, what could that be? And so on. So it doesn't mean that now I don't worry at all anymore. I still have worry, and because my mind is certainly a way of, that it always done so much worrying. But now I'm able, through mindfulness, I'm able to worry a lot less and deal with it differently, to get myself out of it a lot quicker, even if sometimes I fall into it. So there are actually some practical things that you can do that sometimes can also help So for example, if you worry a lot about work, it could be that, when you get home, you're still thinking about things that, oh, you wish you'd done in the day, you couldn't, but you didn't do, or, worrying about the following day, whether you'd be able to do that or what might happen, and so on. And so I find that for me, what's helpful is to make a list of what I've achieved during the day. Because it's very easy for us to think about, oh, the things that I didn't do today, right? But in fact, if we focus on what we did in the day, then it's going to help us not worry. So another thing that you can do as well, it's about writing maybe a list of what you need to do the following day. By doing that, it's also going to help you maybe not worrying so much. For example, if you go to bed or keep thinking about the things that you need to do, if you've written them down. So that I know that for me, that helps me a lot as well. But of course, it's not enough, because I say worrying is really a way of, of thinking about things. It's about just being in the future, but not so much in the present. So what you can do with mindfulness is first name it. So when you notice that there is worry happening, just noticing it and naming it, saying, I notice that there is the worry that, whatever it is, I notice there's a moment of worry right now. And remind yourself that you're not alone in this, that we all worry at times. And also ask yourself if there's anything you can actually do about it right now in this moment. Maybe there are things that you can do right now that could help. So as I said, maybe you can write things down if you're worrying about something that you need to do the following day and you haven't written it down yet. But often there won't be anything that you can do about it in the moment. So in that case, it's about saying, okay, well, then I let it go. And to let it go, well, some of the things you can do, for example, is imagining that each thought it's as if you were sitting in a cinema and in front of a big screen, and each thought you put them on the screen and you see them go away, one after the other. It just goes away. So that's one way that you can do with letting the thoughts go, or just simply connect with your breath. And then whenever thoughts come in, those worries come in, you notice that they're there, you just acknowledge them, but gently, without judgment, without giving yourself a hard time. Bring yourself back to the breath and let them go. And if you already have them, because those worrying thoughts have already pulled you in a little bit, you might already be feeling a bit of anxiety or some unpleasant sensations. So in that case, just notice the feeling that that has been generated by these worrying thoughts, and just locate it where it is in the body, and just observing and feeling the sensations, again without judgment. So it could be noticing the shape, the color, what it feels like. Is it heavy? Is it light? And just really staying gently with the sensations in your body. And you can breathe in into the sensation and out from the sensation as well. So I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any comments or questions, feel free to PM me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.